Hi, I'm Lindsay from Lindsay Elliott Coaching, and I have one of our dogs here today. This is little Ash, and I want to use him as an illustrative example of talking about our self-worth, our value, our good enoughness. This is my first time working with animals, so I'm not expecting it to go smoothly. So I'm just going to lift him back up again so that you can see his little cute face. So, why have I brought him here today? I want us to have a look at Ash and to see a few things that are true about him as a living being. I'm going to have to let him settle on my lap, but is also translatable and an illustration of how it's also working for us as human beings, even though it looks like it's actually working differently. So if we look at him just sleeping peacefully on my lap, sorry, this is really bad cameraing and videoing. His worth or his value or his good enoughness, we can certainly see that the perception of him is totally like, as they say, like with beauty, but it's like in the eye of the beholder. So as his owners who adore him and love him, our perception of him, his value and his worth to us is incredible because he's a member of our family and we love him unconditionally and he brings us so much joy, as well as some difficulties, which I'm going to talk about. For other members of our family, they may just think he's fun. Other people will think he's pretty neutral. Other people will absolutely be terrified of dogs and not like him. Other people may feel that other people with other issues going on may think that he's of absolutely no value and would be there to be punished or treated very badly. So what we can see, I'm just going to lift him up again, poor thing, I think he's trying to sleep. What we can see about little Ash is that all of the value that is given to him is within us. The other thing we can also know about Ash is that in his mind, because he has a different sort of mind as far as we know up to human beings, his level of consciousness, he is not considering in the slightest his worth, his value, his self-esteem or his good enoughness. This is not something that he is ever questioning because it's not something, he doesn't have that kind of brain, again, as far as we know, that is thinking in this way. And so we can see for him, the question of his worth is not something that ever comes up, much like it wouldn't for a tree or a flower or a stone. And I think the same is true of life. So the energy of life is also not ascribing more value to human beings or more value to dogs or more worth to trees or more worth to plants. This is something that is only ever happening within a human mind and within human consciousness. And I am going to get to the point of why this is helpful. But I just want to illustrate another thing about Ash as well before I do that. So Ash also is a reactive dog. So he has issues, in inverted commas. He is phobic and very frightened of other dogs, which has led to quite a lot of restriction in our lives as his dog owner. And these issues have come from his genes and also habits that he has built, which is the habit of barking at other dogs to keep them up because he believes it keeps them away because he's fearful of them. Now again, his worth or his value to us is not diminished in any way. His value to life, his value as an existing, breathing, sentient being is not diminished in any way because he is reactive to other dogs. Now that doesn't mean he doesn't have challenges. That doesn't mean it isn't challenging for us. It doesn't mean that we, which we are, in the process of working with a trainer to understand him, to understand his reactivity, to understand his particular perception of the world and to support him in the best way that we possibly can to try to desensitize him to the fear that he feels. And the same is true of us as human beings. We all have different things that are challenging for us. So if we struggle with anxiety or depression or OCD or stress or difficulties in relationships or we're not earning enough money, for human beings, if we have these challenges, somehow we then equate that to I'm broken, there's something that needs fixing, there's something wrong with me. Now Ash, let's just have another look at him. Ash is not thinking any of that. He is not thinking, I'm a broken dog, there's something wrong with me because I'm frightened of other dogs. He just simply has the instinctual response of barking at other dogs. And I know it's more complex to human beings, but truly the point that I want to make, sorry, sitting on my earphones now, the point that I want to make is that we are not broken. Our worth and our value is not diminished in any way by the issues or the challenges that we have. These things are only ever held in a human mind. They are only ever held in thought, in concepts, and very strongly in our cultural conditioning. So it's only society, our family, how we grow up, which is all, again, just held in human thought, in consciousness, that would tell us that if I have anxiety or depression, or I'm not succeeding here, or I don't look a certain way, that means that there's something wrong with me, I need to fix myself, and I'm not as valuable or worth as much as the person next to me who looks like they're succeeding. Quite frankly, it's a load of baloney that we have all bought into. Because when I hope that you can see, when you look at a dog like Ash, and you will be having your own perceptions of him when you see him, to say that his worth or his value is diminished because he has some issues is quite frankly a load of old crap. His worth and his value as a sentient human being, his existence, is just innately valuable. It's innately intact, and the same is true of us. Or what if that's something that you can't get on board with, ask the question, well, what if the same is true of us? What if the only place, and this is really the point that I want to make, the only place that insecurity, doubt, low self-esteem, not feeling good enough, feeling like you're broken and feeling like you need fixing is only ever held in our thought. It is not real in any sense that it is solid. It's a real experience, for sure, 100%, but it is not real as in it's a solid thing that I could pick up like this mouse and show you. I can't pick up self-esteem. I can't pick up worth and go, here it is, look how much I've got. We can't do that because it doesn't exist. And that's why for an animal like Ash, he's not questioning it. He's not even thinking about whether he's good enough or what his worth is in the world. He's just going about his business, I think, being completely cute. But again, that's my perception of him, right, as his owner. He's just and then barking at other dogs when he so feels like it, because he feels frightened, because he's not understanding the world. So again, I'm not saying that if we don't have some challenges, if there's things that we are struggling with, we shouldn't get some support and some help. And really, it's more about understanding ourselves, because we're all different, we're all unique. There's no cookie cutter with us. We're all totally and utterly. There is no one else like you, and there is no one else like me, and there is no other being like Ash. And that's the amazing thing. That's the wonderful thing about life, that there is absolutely nothing that is exactly the same as anything else. So the final point that I want to make about this is why I feel this is so important and why I feel it's such a simple misunderstanding. Because if we believe that there is something inherently wrong with us, if we are inherently broken or we need to build our self-esteem or prove ourselves in some way, that is a never-ending path. Because the mind will always give you something else that you need to fix. It will always give you something else that you need to correct or reach, a goal you need to achieve in order to feel okay. And what I want to point out to you, that all of that not feeling okay is totally and utterly 100% held in the psychology, held in thought, held in our momentary passing experience. It is nothing to do, it is not innately within you or within me that we are broken or don't have a good self-esteem. And the reason that I am so passionate about this is because there's so many people who are expending their energy with trying to fix something that isn't broken, with fix something that's an illusion, as in trying to fix themselves and trying to prove themselves, so much human energy and capacity and potential goes into that, when we can just totally leave all of that to the side. We don't have to think about that anymore. We can just let that go. And what we can put our creative energy and potential into is fixing the world and helping the world and making this world a better place. Because those beings like gorgeous Ash, like plants and trees and small children, they all need us. They need us to make this world a better place, absolutely. So if you are an adult or a young person watching this and your energy is tied up in thinking there's something wrong with me, I'm broken, I need fixing, what if you can just turn away from that and know that you are like Ash? You are perfectly whole, perfectly okay, and your worth is not contingent on your behaviour, it's not contingent on your issues, it's not contingent on how you look, what you earn, your relationships, where you live, none of it. None of it. It's absolutely innate and solid and within you. Now you're going to have the experience of insecurity or doubt or feeling like you need fixing passing through you, but that's an experience. It's a psychological, emotional experience. It's not who you are. And I want you to think of Ash next time that you have that self-doubt, is to know that your worth is not contingent on anything outside of you. It is innate, it is built in, it is not up for grabs. No one can take it from you. And then I want you to know that and then go out and make the world a better place. So, sending you lots of love. Me and Ash. He's so cute. Thank you for watching. Bye.